What's going on, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Walt, and I know fantasy football. Hey, check it out. So we got a couple things that are kind of making a stir right now, and that's with some of the receivers. So recently, Brandon Aiyuk from the San Francisco 49ers requested for a trade. We don't know where he's going to go. We don't know what kind of quarterback he's going to have. This is very interesting because Brandon Aiyuk is basically like the number one receiver there. Now I know Debo Samuel's he's an all around player, so they put him in the backfield to run the ball, and also he receives the ball. But with Debo, he has a history of injury issues, so it's going to be very interesting to see how San Francisco plays this out. Because if he's requesting for a trade, let me tell you, if a player is requesting for a trade, that means that they're not really happy unless they get a massive deal. So if he remains with San Francisco, I'm pretty sure he's going to still perform pretty well. But how happy is he going to be? Also, with that being said, is that's going to boost up Debo, Christian, and George Kittle. Uh, George Kittle, he's a pretty solid tight end. He doesn't get as much gameplay, but he's a boom or bust guy. So that might boost him up if they do decide to go ahead and trade Brandon Aiyuk. And it also depends on if there's going to be another receiver to come into the mix. T. Higgins, we don't know what's going on with T. Higgins' contract. When it comes to T. Higgins, another really solid player for the Cincinnati Bengals. However, of course, he's had some issues with injuries in the past year or so with this hamstring. Anything that happens with your legs as a receiver, it's hard to get off the ball. It's hard to, get past that defensive back. It's hard to do a lot of things because when you're on the field and you're stopping, cutting, trying to run a slant, whatever it is, you got to push with those hamstrings. So we'll see what happens with him. He may remain with the Bengals, or he might be gone somewhere, gonzo. So we got to think about that as well. Cedee Lamb has not. He doesn't have a deal yet with the Cowboys. I'm pretty sure they're going to sign him. I'm pretty sure they're going to sign him to a decent deal, or they'll put a franchise tag on him, for that particular year. But that's another interesting conversation because he is the man there at Dallas. I know we got Dak there, but pretty much you don't really have a solid receiver. Brandon Cooks did really good last year, but he's going to be the number one man. So I'm pretty sure that they're going to retain him and try to keep him, because if he's out of there, I'm not for sure who are they going to bring into the mix right there. So, but yeah, when it comes down to the gameplay, when it comes down to these receivers, you have your number one and you have your number two. The number one is the number one. And with Dallas, there's really like no other receiver that I want to have on the Dallas Cowboys team besides Cedee Lamb. T. Higgins, he was the number two guy behind Jamar Chase. So if T. Higgins leaves and he goes somewhere else, then when it comes to that second receiver, we don't know what kind of game they're going to have. But Jamar Chase is definitely going to get a tick up since Joe Burrow is getting more and more healthier each and every day. Brandon Aiyuk, if he leaves to go somewhere, I would presume that he will go somewhere with a decent quarterback, or a good quarterback. I won't say great, because there's probably maybe 8 to 10 great quarterbacks in the league right now. And, that's really pushing it, because every year, if you don't have Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, if you don't have those particular guys, and I know that I'm missing some people here, then it's hit and miss. Russell Wilson being with the Pittsburgh Steelers, we don't know how he's going to play. Kyler Murray, he came back from injury last year. He's got some more players on the team that will increase for his arsenal. We don't know how he's going to play this year. So it's going to be interesting to see how these receivers are going to get their gameplay, where they're going, and the shakeup with it. Now, that you have the locked in receivers. With Stephon Diggs going to the Texans, I know they got Tank Dell and everything there, and Nico Collins, but Stephon Diggs he's an all-star. So, we're going to see how he plays too. But when it comes to the other receivers, that are waiting for some extra money, seeking trades. We just have to see what's going to take place with that. Anyways, I'm gonna keep this short, guys. But listen, I know fantasy football. I've been playing the game of fantasy football one in the money league and then just free to play. I've been playing it for over 15 years now, and I know a little bit of something. So if you want insight in regards to players that you want to get, drop, add players that are rookies that you think might perform very well, or even sophomore players, any kind of player, this is the channel. I am a regular guy. I don't have nothing flashy that's going to be popping up. I will be working on, putting up statistics and everything like that, but that's going to come in some later videos. But go ahead and hit subscribe to this channel. Also hit the notification bell because I will be doing the best that I can to post weekly videos, especially when the season starts. We got to talk about lineups, but we also got to talk about drafting. And also give me a like, post a comment. Let me know what you think about the receivers. Who's going to be the number one receiver this year? The one that's going to, get those 1,000+ receiving yards along with the touchdowns because, touchdowns are very important as well. But yeah, let me know what you think about that. But also, like I said, I know fantasy football. Hit the subscribe button and I will get at you soon. Take care. Peace.